والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن دعا بدعوته واستنى بسنته وسار على نهجه إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. My brothers and sisters, indeed, I enjoin upon you and upon myself the fear of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Insha'Allah, in today's khutbah, what we will be drawing our attention to is one of the verses of the glorious Quran, that is precisely verse 97 of Surah Al-Nahl, that is Surah 16 of the glorious Quran. In that noble verse of the Quran, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is saying, من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن فلنحيينه حياة طيبة ولنجزينهم أجرهم بأحسن ما كانوا يعملون. In this noble verse of the Quran, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is saying, من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن. Whoever does righteous deed in dhakar, whether a male or untha or a female, or mu'min, while being a believer, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن فلنحيينه حياة طيبة. We are going to make him live a good life. That is, in this life, that is in this world. وَلَنُحْيِيَنَّهُ حَيَاةً طَيِّبًا وَلَنَجْزِيَنَّهُ, and we shall surely reward them, أَجْرَهُمْ, their reward, بِأَحْسَنِ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, with something better than what they used to do. That is in this life. That is in the hereafter. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will reward them with something better than what they used to do in this life. So looking at this noble verse of Quran, we will understand that for one to have a good life in this world, then one needs to be, righteous in one's deed. And as we keep reminding ourselves from time to time, when we talk about righteous deed, it's about doing deeds that are desirable to Allah Ta'ala. It's about doing deeds that are in conformity to the teachings of Allah Ta'ala. And when you look at things Allah Ta'ala commands us to do, as we keep enlightening ourselves, you will discover that there are things that makes you to have a good life. Because Allah's rules are about how you live your life in a good way in this world. Then the reward comes in the hereafter. That's why he said, فَلَنُحْيِيَنَّهُ حَيَاةً طَيِّبًا. Allah said, we will make them live a good life that is in this world. Because all your actions have consequences right from this world, not until you get to the hereafter. That's why even pertaining to what happens on the earth or in the universe, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said to us that ظَهَرَ الْفَسَادُ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ بِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِي النَّاسِ. He said evil have covered the land, al-barr wal-bahr, the land and the sea. As a result of what? He said بِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِي النَّاسِ, as a result of the handiwork of the people. Somewhere he said, مَنْ عَمِلَ صَالِحًا فَلِنَفْسِهِ. Whoever does good is for himself. He said, وَمَنْ أَسَاءَ. Whoever does evil, who suffers it, he said, فَعَلَيْهَا, he's the one who suffers it. So there's consequence for every action you exhibit. And the consequence comes right from this world, not until in the hereafter. The only thing is that, yes, whatever happens in this world is temporary. That is why maybe there will be more concern about a talk or about, drawing attention to the hereafter more than this life. Because the hereafter is permanent. But here, whatever it is, whether it is enjoyment, whether it is suffering, it is temporary. Anything about this life, no matter what you have, or no matter the state you find yourself, is either a day will come that Allah takes you out of the state, or he takes the state away from you while you are still alive. That's for sure. But in the hereafter, yes, it's an everlasting life. It's not a place that you will go and die again. So those in hell will be in the hell forever, and those in Jannah will be in Jannah forever. So in essence, so every situation or every state we find ourselves, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, if you listen to Him, He will enlighten you as to what brought you into that state. And He will always tell you what will take you out of that state. So righteous deed bring good to the society, and unrighteous deed bring suffering to the society. Today, we are seeing our state. Yes, some of us pray towards getting out of the state, because not all of us pray to get out of it. Because some like it, some benefit from it. And maybe they're like kidnappers. The kidnappers don't pray for kidnapping to stop, because that's their own means of what? Making money. The armed robbers doesn't pray to stop, for robbery to end, because that's their own means of what? Of livelihood. But yes, the good ones, no matter how rotten a society is, there are always good people. And the good ones always pray for Allah wa Ta'ala to remove evil out of the society. But apart from prayer, we need to walk, as we keep reminding ourselves. We need to walk towards that. And that has to do with each and every one of us checking his deed. You want a good life? Allah have given you the information as to how to get it. Man amila salih, he said, whoever does righteous deed. And it has nothing to do with sex, min dhakarin, whether male or untha or female. And as a believer, they say, فَلَنُحْيِيَنَّهُ. So this is a promise from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. He said, فَلَنُحْيِيَنَّهُ. He said, we will surely make them live a good life in this world. And in the hereafter, what happened? What happens? He said, وَلَنَجَزِيَنَّهُمْ. We will surely compensate them. We will surely reward them in the hereafter. أَجْرَهُمْ. That is their reward, بِأَحْسَنِ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, with something better than what they do. There is no way you can ever have a successful life. You can ever have a good life when you take Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala out of the equation. Because He owns everything. He owns them. He decides how they go. He decides how they go. And He have designed, or He have given guideline as to what leads to good life, and guideline as to what to lead to suffering. And you can break them and expect things to go the opposite. You can break them and expect things to go the opposite. Some situations are natural. You can't forget Allah and think you can remember yourself. It's not possible. Like in the verse of the Quran, we do mention it also. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, وَلَا تَكُونُ. Do not be like those نَسُوا اللَّهَ, who forgot Allah. What happened? He said, فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ. And He made them to forget themselves. It was a warning to the believers. He said, لَا تَكُونُ. Do not be. لَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ. Do not be like those who forgot Allah. فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ. And He made them to forget themselves. So we all need to go back to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. We need to check ourselves. We need to examine ourselves. Yes, there are people we expect them to take certain steps. But fundamentally, we must understand that individually, we are more responsible for the state we find ourselves. Until we accept that and we work towards that, changing that, things will continue to remain the same or will continue to get worse. Our Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us in a hadith that Al-Kayyiz, he said the wise one. Who is the wise one? He said, he is the one, alladhi dana nafsa, the one who scrutinizes himself, the one who checks himself, wa amila lima ba'da al-maut. That is, he scrutinizes his deeds and works for what comes after death. How many of us think about hereafter when we do things? How many of us think about that? Most of us, our reason for most of our actions are materially based, are worldly based. And I do tell us something from time to time. Those who work for the sake of the world, they usually destroy the world. Those who work for the sake of the hereafter, they build the world. It is those who work that their own goal, their ultimate goal is the world, they destroy the world. That's what they achieve. And those who work for the sake of the hereafter, they build the world. Because what makes you to be successful in the hereafter is how better you left the world. That's what gives you your hereafter. That's what our Prophet told us in the hadith. He said the best of the people is the one who is most useful to the people. It is the best of the people. He said is the one who is most useful to the people. Today, most of us, in any environment we come to, or when we relate with people, what we think first is what to get from the people, not what to give them. Righteous people, God-conscious people, or successful people, their thinking is this. And I usually tell us this. If you want to know your value anywhere, your value is not determined by what you are able to get from there. Your value is determined by what you are able to give them. Those who can build Nigeria are those who think of what to give Nigeria first before asking themselves what does Nigeria have to offer them. Because Nigeria is now filled with those who think of what to get first before thinking of what to offer. And that's why things are not working. If you see parents build their children because they think of the future of their children more than what their children will offer them. Parents pray for their children to bury them. Parents pray for them to suffer and their children enjoy. Good parents, they think of the future of their children more than thinking about their own future. They can go to any length for their children to achieve what they think is good for them. They can give their own life. So it makes them to go extra mile to see that yes, their children have the best of education according to their own thinking. It's when you come into a successful family, they think in that direction. Even the child, you will see that he, though his parents think this way, he also thinks the same way. That is, he's very concerned about his parents' feelings. He wants to obey them. He avoids what hurts his the parent. But when you now have a child who doesn't think that way, yes, that one can go as far as eliminating his parents to take over his parents' property. Because to him, the property of the parents is more valuable to him than the parents themselves. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says in the verse of the Quran, talking about his righteous one, he says, وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ. They give preference to others over themselves. وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ, even if they are in need. How can't we have a decent society when you have people who think about others before thinking about themselves? You see, the person won't kidnap you because as he meets you, he's more concerned about your feelings, how he can make you happy, before thinking about what you are to offer him. When people are more conscious of Allah in the past, you will discover that even on the road, if something happens to your vehicle, somebody will help you, you offer him money, he will refuse. Because he's not helping you because of what he wants to get from you. He is helping you because he feels you deserve the assistance. You may offer him help, something, he will reject. Yes, somebody will find your money. He doesn't know the owner. He is looking for the owner. While another person is killing you to take the money. Yes, it's the same thing. What the other one saw and is looking for the owner, that is what another person is looking for the owner to eliminate and carry. Because of the difference in their thinking. Yes, if you have the one who will find it on the road and look for you, then that one, your life is safe in his hand. Because even when he has access to it, he doesn't mind. So my brothers and sisters, indeed, we will come into the Quran. You will discover that so many of our problems, Allah have given us guidelines as to how to get out of them. But the only thing is that, yes, most of us, we are not ready to take Allah's solution. And we want solution. There is no way. The wisest of all will give you a solution and you say you're not ready for it and you think anybody will sit down anywhere and give you a way out. Nobody is having any way out for any of you. For anybody. Because in most cases, check most of our sittings, check most of our gatherings. Our gatherings doesn't usually have any result. Because even the gathering themselves, it begins with selfishness. And everybody talking is talking about himself. He doesn't care what happens to the other. Take for instance, yes, we have different regions. By the time each region sits down on the table with others to discuss anything, everybody wants everything for himself. So you can't get the expected result. Allah says in the verse of the Quran that لا خير في كثير من نجواهم. There is no good in most of their consultations. إِلَّا مَنْ أَمَرَ بِصَدَقَةٍ, except those who enjoin what? Charity. أو معروف, or righteousness. أو إصلاح بين الناس, or reconciliation between people. It's good to make consultations. But the kind of mindset you come to the gathering with matters. And as Muslims, we need to change our ways of thinking. We need to submit ourselves to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. We need to check the kind of life we want to live, the kind of deeds we want to do. Do things that are pleasing to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. By the time you do anything, ask yourself, is that what Allah asked me to do? If you want to have peace in your life, that is just the way to think. Deep inside your mind will be at peace. Because anyone who is convinced that what he did is what Allah asked him to do, his mind will be at peace. Because he knows that yes, he is safe in the hand of Allah Ta'ala. But most of us today, we do things after you go to say that even your conscience is telling you that yes, what you did is wrong. So my brothers and sisters, indeed, we need to work towards changing our state. So no matter how evil, no matter how rotten we think the society is, we can still get out of it. Nothing is beyond Allah Ta'ala's control. All we need to do is to change our ways. We should check our deeds. Let's check how we talk to people. Let's check how we relate with our neighbors. And like as I do say, when we say neighbors, it's about everybody. Even if it is a Christian that lives with you or stays close to you as a Muslim and is not happy living with you, you need to check your kind of Islam. Because your Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught you in a hadith that your neighbors are of three categories. He didn't take anybody out. He said there are those who have three rights, and there are those who have two rights, and there are those who have one right. A particular neighbor may have three rights because he's your neighbor. He has rights of neighborhood, meaning you are supposed to treat him nicely because he's your neighbor. Then secondly, he's a Muslim. You treat him nicely because he's your neighbor. You treat him nicely because he's a Muslim. And you treat him nicely because you and him are bloodly related. So that gives him three rights over you. Today we can't even maintain one of these. You can maintain one. He is not safe as your neighbor. He is not safe as your family member. He is not safe as what? As a Muslim. None. Another person have two. Maybe he is not a Muslim, but he's your neighbor and bloodly connected to you. So if someone is bloodly connected to you, even if he's not a Muslim, he has right of kinship. That you need to treat him kindly because of that family ties. Because he's a kafir, because he's a non-Muslim, does not sever the family ties. And if he's your neighbor, that not being a Muslim does not deprive him of that right of neighborhood. Another one may also have two, because bloodly, okay, you are not connected to him, but he's your neighbor, and he's what? He's a Muslim. And one has one right. Maybe he's just your neighbor. He's your neighbor, not a Muslim, not bloodly connected to you. So why you will take good care of him is because he's your neighbor. But like now, let us sit down and ask ourselves, if we think this way, if we behave this way, why the crisis we are facing? Why don't we love ourselves? If you love someone, you sacrifice for the person. If you love someone, you can let some things go for the person's happiness. So my brothers and sisters, indeed, we are not taking the world anywhere. All of us come into the world and met it. And all of us will go and live it. So don't waste your time. Don't waste your time on what does not belong to you. Let us all finish our shout and our noise. Collect whatever you want to collect. After you collect, Allah will collect it from you or take you away from it. So don't waste your time. Allah have clearly told you in the verse of the Quran about the world. He says, "Inna nahnu narithu al-ardha wa man 'alayha wa ilayna yurja'un." He says, "Inna nahnu." He says, certainly we. That is here, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. He said, "Narithu al-ardha." We will inherit the earth. Wa man 'alayha, and whoever is on it. So wait, even you yourself, He will take you. Not the earth alone. No. He will take you too. So don't waste your time. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Wa laqad ji'tumuna furada kama khalaqnakum awwala marra. Everybody came naked. Everybody came empty-handed. And that's how everybody will go. Nobody is going different. And don't waste your time about anything. Finish your calculation. Things end the way Allah designed it. So my brothers and sisters, indeed, let us be conscious of our actions. Let us be conscious of our deeds. What belongs to you? What belongs to you? And I keep reminding us this. What belongs to you is your deed. Nothing after that. After that, nothing belongs to you. What you own, what determines your end, is your work, not your money, not your house, not your power, not your region. And we need to be conscious of that. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله العظيم الجليل لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب وخطأ وأستغفر الله الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد عباد الله أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل. My brothers and sisters in deen, we need to remember something. Most of us, the way we picture things are usually wrongly. Things we are supposed to use to build our hereafter. Things we are supposed to use to strengthen our relationship. Things we are supposed to use to help to help ourselves. Unfortunately, we use them to destroy ourselves. We use them to create hatred among ourselves. We use those things to destroy our hereafter. Take for instance, yes, if you have power, it's an opportunity Allah have given you to build your Jannah. You don't own it. It's just a tool. Like as I do say, if anything you make, any worldly thing, if you think that becomes your goal, you've wasted your life because you can never own it. If your own goal is just to become counselor or to become chairman or to become this and you've gotten it, so you can keep it. You will one day leave it. If your goal is money, yes, after getting the money, what happens? You can own it, you can control, you can have it permanently. Someone else will inherit it from you one day. So they are supposed to be an opportunity for you to use it to achieve something. It is an opportunity for you to build your house, your permanent house. Like the saying of a scholar in a poem, that La dara lil mar'i, he said there is no abode for any soul, for anybody, ba'd al-mawt, after that yaskunuha, that is going to live in. He said, إِلَّا الَّذِي كَانَ قَبْلَ الْمَوْتِ بَانِيهَا, except the one he built before his death. Everyone built his own house. Nobody is building your house for you. لَا دَارَ لِلْمَرْءِ بَعْدَ الْمَوْتِ يَسْكُنُهَا إِلَّا الَّذِي كَانَ قَبْلَ الْمَوْتِ بَانِيهَا. He said, except the one he built before his death. He said, وَإِنْ بَنَاهَا بِخَيْرٍ وَإِنْ بَنَاهَا بِخَيْرٍ. If he built it with good, طَابَ مَسْكَنُهُ, his abode is okay. He said, وَإِنْ بَنَاهَا بِشَرٍ. If he built it with evil, خَابَ بَانِيهَا. Such a builder is in loss. Yes, it's good to struggle to achieve some worldly things, but those things should not be your goal. They should be tools for you to build your hereafter. They are just tools. They are just means to an end. They should not be your own end. Money shouldn't be your end. House shouldn't be your end. The house you are disturbing yourself building today, thinking you are building something special, after a few years it becomes outdated. The house you are disturbing yourself thinking, okay, you are building something special for your children. Your own children will come, that kind of house to them is an old school. They'll demolish it to build another one. Because in their own time, that kind of house is nothing special. Cars that people waste their lives to get it in the past. Give somebody now, they will tell you it is what? That's the life. That's the life. So it is not easy. They say nothing good comes easy. It's not easy to be righteous. It's not easy to do the right thing. But if we want to have a successful life, we want to have a successful nation, we all have to struggle. We all have to work towards doing the right thing. Like I do say to us, it's not easy. Even those of us talking is the same way. The way you are struggling That's how we are also struggling. Everybody is struggling to do the right thing. And that is the only thing that can take us out of this mess we are inside. That's what will take us out of the mess. Some changes will come naturally if we change our ways, if we change our thinking. Most especially as a Muslim. We, the Muslims, are supposed to be the pace setters. We're supposed to lead in terms of righteousness. We are not leading because we think like everybody. Yes, we claim to be Muslims, but we live our life just like any other human being. They don't care about Allah. We also doesn't care about Allah. We only say we are Muslims. But in terms of lifestyle, we are just like anybody. There's no difference. They don't care about Allah. What they want is just to enjoy life. You also, what do you want? Enjoy life. That's everybody wants to have a jaya, abi? Koko. Kowa kawai na son ya ji daɗi shikenan. Ha? Afe shi faji. Yes. And one funny thing is this. Anyone who has no Allah's guidance in him, check and see how he does it. What he looks at as enjoyment are usually things that destroy him. That's how it is. But because of being guided by shaitan, he is not seeing it that way. Take for instance, somebody taking cocaine. He too knows that cocaine affects his brain. But to him is what? He's enjoying life. The one taking alcohol knows alcohol destroys him, because the time he wants to tell you that you are talking trash, he will tell you that you are talking like a drunkard. Yeah, you smoke, and then you say smokers are liable to what? To die young. So he knows what it is. But there's one thing. When you abandon Allah, shaitan guides you that time. And shaitan usually adorns for you evil deeds as good. Allah said to us in the verse of the Quran, زَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ أَعْمَالًا. Shaitan adorned their evil deeds for them. صَدَّهُمْ عَنِ السَّبِيلِ. It moves them away from the path, from the right path. It's just like the one kidnapping. Yes, he feels it's something okay because he's making money. There is one thing you must understand. When Allah stops you from doing something evil, the way he is saving others from you, he's also saving you from others as well. It's not only others, he's protecting you from others' evil the way he is protecting others from your own evil. If you refuse to stop kidnapping, you will kidnap, you will collect money, and another one is an armed robber. He will wait for you on the road. Yes. Yes, if you will kidnap, or this one will rob, another person is waiting for you in the market who will give you fake item as what? Genuine one. Yes. That is it. Somebody else is also waiting for you. Don't worry. The way you refuse to comply with Allah's injunction, that one too will refuse, and you will suffer it. Yes, finish your kidnapping. You will fall sick. Another person is also waiting for you to give you fake drug. As what? Genuine drug, and you will be sick and you will not get well. Yes, you finish drinking the drug, you pay for it and you die. Yes, you will say the person doesn't fear God, when you too doesn't fear God. Yes, you say some of these, health of, specialists, they are very devilish. You did not know that he's exactly as devilish as you are. It's the same thing. What's the difference? It's the same thing. Oh, you wake up and you say the politicians are corrupt. How are they corrupt? That's his own area. He's doing his mess there. So you are doing your own mess in your own place. You want him to stop his mess, you stop your own mess too, he too will stop his own. It's the same thing. The way you do damage in your own place, that's the way he does damage in his own place. What will stop him is the same thing that's supposed to stop you. He's supposed to stop for Allah's sake. You're too supposed to stop for Allah's sake. And Allah did not say he should stop before you stop your own. Because you know who told you who will go to Allah first? He can finish his own tenure. Abi? And in your own case, you may not finish your own kidnapping. Maybe in that process, before you collect the ransom, they get you. Amen. So, my brothers and sisters, indeed, let us all work on ourselves. Let us all work to be righteous people. Let us work towards loving one another. That yes, we will want anyone who come close to us. As a good Muslim, that should be your thinking. Work towards making sure no one come close to you and the person leaves you crying. That's what makes you a Muslim. Work towards living a life that someone crying comes close to you, you wipe his tears. Even if you don't have what he wants. Good words is something. Allah said, قَوْلٌ مَعْرُوفٌ وَمَغْفِرَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِنْ صَدَقَةٍ يَتْبَعُهَا أَذًى. That's what makes you a Muslim. A mu'min is merciful. لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنِتُّمْ حَرِيصٌ عَلَيْكُمْ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَءُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. That's a Muslim. He's a kind-hearted person. He's a loving person. He's someone who does things always remembering that someone is watching him. He fears Allah more than anybody. And he does his things for Allah's sake more than for anybody's sake. A mu'min is someone that, yes, one of his weakest points is use Allah for him. You've weakened him. That's a mu'min. He is someone when he opens his mouth and says, Wallahi, you will know him fine. There's no any truth behind what he's saying anymore. That's the kind of people we had in the past. That yes, when a Muslim, to the extent you see Muslims saying Wallahi, because they see the weight of that word in the sight when the Muslims use it. That some people who are not even Muslims, they will tell, when they want to show you how serious something is, they will tell you Wallahi. That's the kind of Muslims we used to have. The one who, he is upset with you, you use Allah for him, that's all. The problem is gone. May Allah wa ta'ala unite us and save our nation from this crisis. Each and every one of us. What we will do to draw us closer to Allah, may Allah wa ta'ala make it easy for us. May Allah wa ta'ala make the Muslim Ummah, the Muslim community, pace setters, those who will not think of harming others, and those that will walk towards, inshaAllah, bringing peace, bringing security into any environment they find themselves. People who will always remember that a day is coming, that every single act they did in their life, they are going to see it. They don't have doubt about that a day is coming, yes, everything, 100%. Nothing is missing. No injustice will be done. May Allah wa ta'ala, our leaders, may He give them the consciousness of Allah wa ta'ala to be able to lead us towards part of success, towards part of security. We pray that our children, may Allah wa ta'ala make them source of joy to us in this world and the hereafter. And our brothers and sisters who have their businesses here and there, working towards establishing their businesses, or those who have their businesses on ground, having one challenge or the other, we pray Allah wa ta'ala answer their prayers for them, and then guide them in the course of all their activities. Doors of blessings, doors of wealth, the ones we expected, the ones we never expected, may Allah wa ta'ala open for all of us. We pray that our children in schools, may Allah wa ta'ala make them successful in their education. Our wives, may Allah wa ta'ala make them conscious. Our husbands, may Allah wa ta'ala make them source of joy, source of happiness to us. And we pray that Allah wa ta'ala will guide our leaders in taking the appropriate decision in saving us out of this crisis. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. إن الله يأمر بالإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اللهم واشكروه على آلائه ونعمه يرزقكم ولذكر الله أكبر. الله يعلم ما تكتمون.